Welcome back to part 3. I realized as I was writing this episode that I had missed a couple of key things and why it was important to understand why Jasper's relationship with Lapis is so crucial for her growth. So, what was supposed to be a 3-part series will now have to be 4 parts. If that isn't just the most excellent planning, I don't know what is. Okay, so where we left off last time, Lapis respectfully declined Jasper's plea to fuse again. This event is the starting line for Jasper's emotional growth, or rather, the starting point for it even to be able to develop at all. You see, before her fusion with Lapis, Jasper was almost completely separated from her feelings due to her actively suppressing them, the way we covered in episode 1. This meant that there wasn't any room for her to deal with them in any kind of healthy way. But when Lapis was thrown into the mix, she forced Jasper to be exposed to her feelings against her will by removing any power Jasper had to press down her insecurity with. Again, like we covered in episode 1, Jasper uses her power over others as a distraction and projects her problems onto her victims in order to remove any hold her emotions would have on her by figuratively beating up her emotions by projecting them onto her victims. But this obviously demands that she is in control, which she clearly isn't. So, what I tried to explain last time but sort of failed at was that this was a bit of a Pandora's box type of situation, in that the door to her emotions is not easily closed again. And so what happened was that when Lapis had disappeared, she had left Jasper a lot more emotionally vulnerable, as well as leaving her codependent. So Jasper's subconscious motivation becomes to experience her emotions again by having Lapis force her to experience them, because she's not able to handle those herself. She needs, like, someone with a whip, essentially. But when she is rejected, she has nobody to force her to deal with those emotions, and they just are there still, and she's not able to handle them. So she finds that the only way of handling them is to try to close the door again with the same tactic as before. But that is a lot more difficult now, because a key difference has been introduced, which is that Jasper has started questioning herself a lot. She is no longer in an environment where she is constantly empowering control, which makes it a lot harder for her to project her emotions onto others and effectively destroying them. And it doesn't help that she is on Earth, which is her birth planet, since Earth as a symbol only represents bad things associated with Jasper's past, such as the death of Pink Diamond, as well as her birth in the beta kindergarten. Bottom line is that Jasper now has something to prove to herself, because she is at rock bottom and doesn't have a lot more than self-doubt going for her at this point. So, what she does to try to prove her worth, and regain her self-image, as it were, is to try to gain as much power as possible. Not power as in gaining more strength, but as in power over others. She needs to prove that she is superior to those around her in either one of 2 ways. Either by physically subjugating others, as she did with the corrupted gems, or by making someone mentally consider themselves below her, like she did with Amethyst. So in order for her to feel secure, she needs to prove that she isn't a failure, or defective, or weak, and jumps at any chance to convince herself of that. I mean, just look at how she acts when she is able to distinguish herself from someone defective like the corrupted quartz. Just watch the look on her face when she calls the corrupted gem a freak. Her eyes say it all.
You take orders from me now. You used to be a quartz too, didn't you? What happened to you? Disgraceful. I can't believe I've resorted to recruiting you freaks.
May I just mention the symbolism in her locking up a corrupted and therefore defective quartz in the same kindergarten she grew up in? I mean, this reflects even further on Jasper's stigma, where she is trying to conquer her past by being the jailer instead of the prisoner, which is why I love the end of her character arc enough to want to dedicate this series to it. But that's where we're gonna end it for today, folks, because what's coming up next deserves its own episode. Next video will cover her end and corruption, and tie together everything we talked about in these prior episodes. I do hope you will join me in the next and final installment of the Hidden Humanity of Jasper. I'm working a lot on these episodes, so I would be very thankful if you were to like the video and maybe even subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. After the next episode is done, I'm going to need something else to do, so I will be open to suggestions in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Bye.